All right, sweet. Well, let's kick it off. Hello, I'm Dom,
This is Jeff over here.
and we're gonna keep making this game that is too hard for either of us to play right now. Oh no! Man, I got it. Oh no! Wait, I'm not holding down any keys. Ah.
Did we just find an input bug?
I think I found a hardware bug with my kind of jank keyboard.
Oh. Is it a janky keyboard? I thought you were using the fancy one with the lights.
It's I think it's a little jank because I got the very softest switches I could, so I could like type in here without waking someone up.
Yes.
And they're like squishy soft.
Got it.
Ah, so close. That's okay. I got one to kill the other one. Oh wait, I know how to win the game. I figured it out. There. Ah,
Our hit detection leaves something to be desired.
a little bit. I thought that would be it.
Does the other one actually have a hitbox?
What's the debug key? Tilde?
Backtick, yeah.
Oh, well.
That looks like a bug.
That does look like a bug.
I wonder if I introduced that recently.
Because mine is good.
Yeah.
The way these are calculating, they're only good straight up and down. Okay, let's fix that bug first.
Sounds good.
Man, I just love the way this entire thing is architected now.
Yeah, I did a fair amount of refactoring. I apologize if things are a little bit not where you expect them to be, but I don't think anything in there is, well, I hope nothing in there is super objectionable.
Nah, nothing surprising so far. I took a peek right before we started to.
Yeah, I threw a bunch of our utility stuff into the folder called util. I figured that was probably a useful thing.
Oh, cool. And where's the actual map living now?
So the map is under assets at the very top level.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Whew.
You can see the data structure under the map interface. So if you go to map, there's a thing called a raw map, which is what it's kind of funny what some of this stuff serializes to in JSON. If you go back to that gigantic test.json file, you can see the first thing in there is a dimensions object, which has a very funky structure, which is an object with string keys that are 0 and 1, and that is actually what a vec2 serializes to when you JSON stringify it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Seems fine.
I think it's okay. It's okay.
These null terrains are really funny, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean, we can. There's probably ways of optimizing that where maybe we can say. I mean, what you kind of want is a skip list. I don't know if you've used that data structure before, but yeah.
Yep.
And or we could make two-dimensional arrays or hash table even. I think right now all of our entity and terrain representation is just flat arrays. So every row is kind of just like stuck one after the other. So there's no longer any really great visual representation of what's going on. But if you look for the string player or wall, all caps, you'll find them nestled in there.
All right. I was just gonna try to put one of these a little closer on the screen to me.
Yep.
Great. Oh yeah, that hitbox is wild. Okay, cool.
So we can turn shooting off. We can make the turrets not shoot.
That was the next thing I was gonna do. Yeah, I was like, if we make these not shooters, we'll actually get a pretty manageable debug interface.
Yeah. And they will still rotate, I think. Or did we put? Yeah. Okay. The mover moves them, right?
Yep. All right. So this is. Let's see. The hitbox is part of damageable.
Yes.
And how? Huh. It's strange that.
Should we have passed a flag that we shouldn't be rotating the hitbox? There was something like that, right?
Oh.
Should rotate ? Do we ever use that anywhere? Can you find references to should rotate?
I think the place we use it, it's tough because this isn't a. It's not a keyed list.
Oh yes.
But I'm pretty sure should rotate only applies to the bullet, and we're okay with this because the bullet's little tip hitbox is so tiny that when it moves around the tip of the bullet, it's actually not a huge deal.
Yeah.
So I think
so it should be defaulting to false anyways, though, right? Oh, it defaults to true.
I think we could default to false and make the bullets true.
Yeah, I have no opinion one way or the other. I think it's probably. I think those are literally the only two things with hitboxes, right? The player does not have a hitbox. Is that correct?
Player has a hitbox. Player's damageable, and so do walls.
So how does the player's damageable get set up?
I mean, it's definitely rotate false because this box is not changing.
Are we passing false explicitly?
Yeah.
We are. Okay. So whatever we're doing for the player, we need to do for the turret.
I accept that. It'd be nice to fix that math at some point. But hey, there we go. Those look super reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now if I put this back on and regret it, let's take this turret away from the player. It has to be null, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Notice this reload is taking like a little longer now.
Well, the JSON file there probably is what takes a while.
Yeah. I didn't get there in time. It's so hard.
Oh, you're trying to go between them.
Yeah, I want to win the game, and the only way to win is not to play.
Well, the bullets have a lifetime, right? So you could just drive really far away so that you're in line with the two of them, and then let them shoot each other.
Oh, that's yeah. Yep, I can see that hit happening. Oh god, I'm gonna kill myself.
He's like, you made me kill my friend. You're really good at this game, Dom. Oh.
I'm
Just give
okay.
him fewer hit points. We can give him fewer hit points.
I drove into like 5 of my own bullets on the way back too.
Oh, yeah.
Did not help. Okay, great. So yeah, I think we were talking earlier about making this a little easier to play and maybe turning this into a twin stick shooter, which I think sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it sounds great.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough to do some mouse input. I probably want to move the controls to WASD if we're gonna do that, because.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Okay.
Yeah, we copied the controls from Bolo originally with really no intentionality around that. It was just how the original game worked.
Yeah, these are tank controls, right? Yeah.
Ish, yeah. Tank controls, actually, if we wanted to do that, we could do tank control twin stick with a real controller, which would be kind of fun, actually. You know, where you have like the 2 levers, and the left lever controls the left tread, and the right lever controls the right tread. So if you wanted to spin one way, you turn them in the opposite directions.
Oh god, that's almost mean, but that would be pretty fun.
If it was first person, I think it would actually be fun. Actually, even in this form, it'd be fun, but you need the controller. I think on keyboard it'd be really hard, right?
Yeah, you need to be able to feel like the thumb's different directions for spin.
Right.
That would be cool.
So
but let's,
what PC game controls the way that we're about to? It's twin stick, but the mouse version of that, right?
Which I mean, I think anything that's a twin stick on console will be this. Diablo. Does Diablo even give you twin stick on the
No,
computer?
Diablo
No.
you move by clicking where you... Well, no, it is. Diablo is kind of twin stick, but...
Diablo 3 on the console specifically.
But I think twin stick might be different than using the mouse with the crosshairs.
Right, because we actually want to spin it, don't we?
It depends. I mean, we could do... if we did like honest, like actual twin stick, but tried to simulate it on the keyboard, you'd basically have 8 directional firing. You'd use the arrow keys for firing, and use WASD to move around. That would be twin stick, right? But if we did WASD for motion, and then we used a cursor-controlled crosshairs, that is like a close cousin to twin stick, but it's still quite different. Because with the crosshairs, you can get pinpoint accuracy if the crosshairs is far from the tank. Like you could put the crosshairs directly over your target and fire, and you would hit it. Whereas with twin stick, you're sort of confined to both your dexterity and the precision of the second stick, right?
Right. Can we make controllers happen in the browser?
We can. I've done it. I've done controllers in on Mac before. I have like an extra 360 controller sitting around. So it's definitely possible to. I think it's possible to definitely like get the browser to see that controller.
Cool. Well, I know. Yeah, and you can use a PS4 controller now as like a really good Bluetooth controller.
Oh, you can. That's
yeah,
awesome.
you can just. I think it was 10.14 or 10.15, but you can just take any PS4 controller, put it in pairing mode, and connect it to your Mac, and it just
Do they
works.
actually there's like part of the Mac OS kernel is like a PS4 controller driver in it?
I think so. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Why? Great. Now it's WASD. Yeah, they did it. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say they did it. I think for the iOS releases for Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
If we want, what were you gonna say?
Sorry, are we using WASD? When you say WASD, is it still like turn left, turn right, drive forward kind of thing, or did
Yep.
did you actually want to like move up, move down, move left, move right?
I guess technically there is no S in my WASD right now. But you're thinking like, I guess I was thinking this plus move the mouse around, at least to add the mouse on top of this control scheme, and then see if we wanted to change it to 2D motion.
Yeah, we could try that.
You were thinking actually like, I mean basically strafing, right? Strafing instead of turning.
Yes, that was what I was thinking.
Okay.
Was that the orientation of the so it's actually kind of actually tanks don't move that way, right? It's actually what we would have is a tank that could. I mean, a person can move that way, right? A person can kind of like move in any direction, but technically a tank can't.
But I was kind of thinking this makes sense because like while a tank is driving forward, you can always turn the turret, but a tank can't really drive sideways. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the way that some games deal with that is they'll just animate the body of the tank so that it like the body eventually kind of like rotates towards the direction of motion. Because that's how it works in something like StarCraft, right? In StarCraft, your tanks can they can turn on a dime, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. It really just kind of depends on what feels good to play. I personally find the rotate and drive forward thing to be quite difficult.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a reason not to have that as the control scheme. But if it was like true twin stick, it would basically be like if you move the stick up, the tank would move up. If you move the stick down,
right,
you'd go down. That sort of thing.
That sounds really hard on the keyboard. No, maybe not. I think that'd be okay. I turned all the speed down, and actually I think this is a little more playable now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But still not very. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to do cursor control first, and we can worry about motion later?
Yeah, I think so. And actually, it seems fairly easy to handle motion because we will basically just be running translate, but
yeah,
like it's like a flat translate in a direction.
Yeah, I think one fun thing would be is if we decided that we wanted WASD to move in the direction that you're pressing, we may want to preserve velocity if you have both up and left held down.
Right.
Games that don't do that, you'll feel a speed up if you hit both up and left at the same time because they're basically moving on two axes at like the same speed.
Right. Did we encounter that with Breakout, or was that an earlier version of this? I feel like we discussed that before.
Yeah, we did. The very first game, which is our Twitter icon, was the green dot. And the green dot, we definitely moved around just using WASD, I think.
Oh, no, it was that as we added, we had to maintain constant velocity because we were applying more. We were trying to make the ball not speed up after it like got some English.
Oh, right. Yeah, we did that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Nope. Yeah, exactly.
What you end up with is if you have constant X and Y velocity and you don't slow it down when you're pressing both directions, you're actually going, a square root of 2 multiple faster than you are on any individual axis, right? Because you're moving along the diagonal. Yeah.
So let's see. This probably does not belong in keyboard, but I'm considering renaming this class to input manager.
I was thinking about that too, because we have a mouse class as well. And I was wondering if the input manager should have keyboard and mouse together in it.
Well, look at this. Oh, for the map editor, of course.
The map editor, yeah.
Which have we shown this off on stream? Because it's great.
We've shown off a little bit of it, but not in the degree that we have right so far. Yeah.
This is a great little editor.
The controls need to be dramatically need to be changed, because I have a hard time doing stuff and I draw the wrong pixels all the time, and I really wish I had a brush that was larger than a single tile.
I was trying to think of how you would write a fill algorithm, and I've never done it. So
yeah, flood fill is really fun. It's not that bad. I had a job interview once that was write flood fill. It was a little bit mean for a job interview, I would say.
That does seem a little bit mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this continues to be an extremely fun little map editor.
Yeah.
So okay, so you've actually already got mouse move, mouse down, mouse up. This is great. And then we have get pause and is down. So actually, I'm inclined to just add this to our game object right now, and maybe merge the two later.
Yeah. With that sounds good.
Does the map editor is this include this is probably looking for keyboard and mouse, right?
Yeah, it uses both.
Cool.
And the keyboard also now has an update function.
Oh, cool.
The reason why I had to add update is that I wanted to detect key up, and I wanted to use the same API, which is to say that you had you needed some way to clear key up, because if you detect a key up event, it's ephemeral.
So you get it exactly once. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Instead of right, because it could be multiple frames that we would receive that.
Well, just nothing would clear it out, right? You'd basically set the key up, and then there's no other event that you get that says clear your key up state until you get the next key down, right?
Right. Does this? I mean, this has maybe does it have a tiny race condition where if the event, could the key up event come in between update brush and keyboard.update? Technically, yes, I think.
I think the JavaScript runtime guarantees that everything is single-threaded unless our game logic update had an await somewhere.
Ah, okay.
It's cooperative multitasking, so you never lose CPU context until you intentionally give it up.
Until you say, yeah.
And the only time you give it up is when you return from your main event loop, or you call await. I think await will also surrender control of the CPU.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Or any of the promise.thens, I think, put you in the same space when they get evaluated. That's cool, though.
The subtle thing we will have to worry about is that we might miss key up events.
Mm-hmm.
And we might get a key down and a key up within the space of the same frame. And that might screw up with our logic. So probably the right way to do this is to buffer the key up and key down events in a little history, and then apply them during the update, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because perhaps it's you set the current set of up keys on line 98, and then clear the ones that have been read on 102, and then
right.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, cool.
But yeah, all those event handlers right now in the keyboard and mouse classes, you can assume that they're happening between update frames of the game.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Okay, great. Well, then let's give the game a mouse.
Yeah.
From
So we can even give it a little crosshairs cursor.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, it'd be nice if. Oh, actually CSS cursor crosshair, is that an option? No. CSS
I don't know. I think you just have
I'm hoping we can do cursor. Oh god,
How many pointers do you have? Let me look this up. I think you get like hourglass and the little Mickey Mouse hand.
Nope, crosshair. There you go.
And the grab hand. Is there a crosshair? What?
Yeah. Here, this is doing them all really nicely, actually.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean the answer to how many cursors you get is apparently like two dozen. We could also do cursor none and then sort of take it over as our own, which sounds right to me actually.
Yeah, we could definitely do that as well.
I think that because I kind of was expecting that the crosshair would be maybe a constant circle around the player. Like I'm not necessarily sure I want to pull the crosshair all the way out here and get like precision aiming versus like I want to shoot this way, but I really kind of only get to choose if I'm going this way, because you can't take a stick and like point the stick at the enemy all the way up here. You kind of have to guess your angle, right?
Well, are you planning, if you use the mouse to do that, you're either going to have to create a dead zone around like further from the player where the mouse doesn't work anymore, or
I was thinking,
just allow. Yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking that wherever the mouse is, we take the angle between the mouse and the player and draw the crosshair sort of here. Like if it's out here, the angle's still the same, but you just draw it here so like you can't, it like, I don't know, it takes away some precision aiming. We could try it both ways.
Yeah. So what's going to happen though is that the cursor will be physically far from the player, and the player will rotate, but you just won't know where the cursor is.
Oh, and then I see. But then if I wanted to move it back here, it's actually going to feel really slow and busted. Okay.
Yeah. So unless the gestures on the mouse pad is what rotates the turret around.
Nope. You're totally right. Okay, so the cursor's just under the. Maybe we will use start with cursor and then draw our own.
Yeah. Let me try to sell you on this mechanic though. I am actually like kind of fascinated by this like precision where you can just like click directly on something you're going to fire at.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I think we might be able to compensate with that by making the enemies move, and then you have to lead the shot a little bit because your bullets aren't firing instantaneously. So that's one mechanic you could use. The other mechanic I like is like, okay, you have instant precision, but because your crosshairs is so far from your player, if you have more enemies, like if you have like a bullet hell type thing that are coming at you from behind, it actually, a skilled player may know to keep the crosshair near the player so that you could shoot in different directions more quickly, right? Because otherwise you have to like move the cursor all the way over, all the way over the UI to target what you're looking for. So.
Okay. Yeah.
I think there's an argument to be made that you could make a fun game, but obviously the accuracy mechanics would be quite different.
Yeah. Well, and I think we can also think about stuff in terms of like, do the bullets have some, spray to them, and you don't quite get exactly clicking. So that makes sense to me. Okay, great. Then, oops. Let's start off with the silly CSS solution.
Okay. Nice.
There we go. Okay, cool. And do you think? Yeah.
Oh, that's tuple. I see a tiny little black square to the lower right of your cursor, and I couldn't figure out what it was, but I think that's tuple adding that little artifact.
Bummer. And I can see that in fact the stream does not see my cursor at all, so we'll want to draw this in by the end of it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we have to add it into the game actually. Okay, because people on stream can't see it.
People on stream can't see it. Do we have to add it? It's playable. It's playable on the user's computer, but that's not good enough.
Yeah, I actually think it won't be bad drawing the crosshairs. We can make an entity.
It's just pick the mouse pointer, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so I think this is now part of the player's shooter. And I guess, so we've still got space, so when you hit space, we want to shoot at the cursor. Is that correct?
Yeah. Maybe we could do click. Like, we can read clicks from the mouse, too. So.
Okay, yeah. Oh, great. So if game.mouse is down?
Yep. down
yeah.
buttons. I don't know. I don't remember what the interface was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's bring the mouse back real quick. Get some of these.
Oh yeah, I made the mouse interface a little bit less fussy than the keyboard one, but it's debatable like whether it's better or not.
It's fine. Yeah, because this just is down. Great. And then this is mouse button left. Oops. Oh. It's just that. Okay, great. Dang. Alright, what is this unhappy about? Let's see. Game.mouse.is down. Have I forgotten to instantiate this? Probably. Yes. New mouse. Game.
I wonder if we can get rid of iGame. I don't know how necessary. Like I've actually been getting rid of a lot of our interfaces that we created to prevent circular dependencies. I'm actually not convinced that circular dependencies are a problem.
I agree. I think I was worried about the wrong thing. And is element? Do I pass the canvas itself in here?
Yes, the canvas thing. We need it because it needs to know its position relative to the canvas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's see. So that means that the game itself needs the canvas element? Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. We can just pass that in instead of the... We just pass canvas in and then
Yeah, that...
Or we can create the mouse outside of this and then pass it in. Something like that.
I think passing the whole canvas in is fine, because really, we were just doing a one line to get the context in there, so...
Yeah.
Let's change this to... Canvas... What is canvas's type?
HTML element, I think it is.
HTML canvas element. And cool. And you take the canvas. Sweet. All right.
And then clicking and holding should shoot continuously, which is what we want. Right?
I love it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh wow, you can no longer run into your bullets. Thank goodness.
So it's funny, the original version of this map, which I just kind of sketched out in 2 minutes, had a little mountain range next to the player that was like a sort of T shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh my god, I already inadvertently drew a dick pic into the map. So I got rid of it before stream.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is that just in the Git history somewhere?
It is in the Git history, actually. It's in our Slack. If you look in our Slack, you can see my screenshot.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm just gonna. Am I gonna scroll up and see that? Nope, not right now.
Yeah.
Nope. Slack took more than a second to load up the channel, so.
Yeah.
And no one else can see it, so it's not entertaining. Okay, cool. So we've got the shooter, and okay. So really, the thing that changes is this orientation.
And probably the position as well, because we want the position to spot. I guess it could just be.
It'd be nice if it started. I guess we could start inside the player, but yeah.
We're compensating for the problem that I was worried about, which is that what we're doing is we're projecting the bullet pause is the position of where the bullet spawns. So yes, the orientation is the only thing that matters. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Oh, as long as we fix this orientation, right? Because we already did that. Yep, I see.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's see. There were a bunch of Angular things in Turret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. How much I feel like some of this probably could be moved to util.
Yeah, there is a util.math. I was about to do that at one point, but I wasn't happy with the way that get angular distance function was factored, so I declined to solve the problem basically. But
all right, I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm at least gonna, so we use the same implementation and we can factor it together.
I just what I didn't like was that like transform was suddenly a util library, right? I was like, sure.
Yeah. That I can see.
Yeah. We'll refactor it later. It's not a big deal.
Yep. Oops. Yeah, that is dropping this in here does feel just wrong. Given how nice it is. Okay. I guess it really could just be from position to position and from orientation.
Sort of. I think the angular distance here doesn't matter.
Oh, you don't even need it? Okay.
Because the reason why is that the turret cared because the turret has an orientation to begin with, and it needs to spin that way. But all we need to find is like the position of the cursor in the world and the position of the player in the world, and then figure out what that rotation is.
Oh, right? And that was just vec2.angle, wasn't it?
Vec2.angle, is that between 2 points? I don't remember. Let me look it up.
Yeah, it is. It's from Yep, we got it right here.
Cool.
So that's
is that an angle? Is that the angle between two vectors?
I think so. And we took it as right. We took it as from straight up to the offset, and the offset is the This is Are you sure getting your distances are right? Target orientation minus from that orientation. Oh, this is the difference. This is how far it has to go. Okay. So really, sorry.
What we want is the angular distance between, we want the angle between 0, 1, basically whatever's pointing north, and the cursor position minus the entity position, whatever that vector is. Because the cursor position minus the entity position is the vector leading from the entity to the cursor. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is it not this? We're normalizing the position, right? We're just putting this into a space where we could use the straight up vector to get the angle. Or am I crazy?
Yeah, that is so. Yeah, what you're doing is correct.
Yeah, it's just the first half of distance plus an orientation.
Yeah, and then get angle assumes that your origin is pointing north. Yeah. Because that's what our the subsequent math that we're going to use this angle in, where we spawn the bullet, also assumes that your starting point is pointing north.
Right. Yeah, I think everything we've done has been on that system so far.
Yeah. Get angle from north. Yeah, is basically what we're talking about.
And then when this becomes get angle from that position to that position. This is target orientation equals get angle. Oh man, come on. Great. Okay. Yeah, this is nice because actually I could see. I feel like we could apply this. We could apply this in the turret instead, and it would be not so bad now.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
We'll get transform out of here.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's go back to our shooter, and then so here our const orientation equals get angle. And then it's going to be our from is entity.transform.position, and our to is game.mouse.getPod.
Yeah, and I think the question mark should be an exclamation point. We want to assert that it exists.
Yeah. Oh, this is you put the.
I put the we strict nulls. I think is the option, which is good. It's good. It actually finds bugs. I found a bunch of bugs as a result of that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. Am I? Okay.
We got it. I think we imported for the wrong thing. I think that it might be importing.
Oh, a different get angle? Yikes.
Yes.
Oh, indeed.
Tilde util /math. I think that's what you want.
Yep. It was just too helpful. Okay, so. Oh, I'm not even using it. Let's maybe give it a shot. Let's see what's wrong with this. Oh, okay, you've got your option. How do I unwrap the option class that you created?
Sorry, let me look at the code. I was looking at the stream for a second. Get position dot. So this is actually a situation where the reason why it's an option is that the cursor might not be over the playfield.
True.
Right. So we want to decide what the right thing to do is here, and probably the thing that we should do is not shoot if the mouse cursor is not over.
Yep.
And the way that,
agree.
Yeah, there's two ways of doing that. One is you could say if the mouse position dot is sum, then you continue with the whole body of code. You can also do this in a functional way where you do get mouse pos dot map, and you can pass in a function that passes in the position if it's actually a position and not a none. Does that make sense?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So unfortunately, this is
mouse pos dot unwrap is what you would do right there.
Okay.
Yeah. And
it's a function. Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally legit to do if you've already called isSum.
Yes. Or I did the is none return early, but yeah.
Or is none. Yeah.
Cool. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'm
sort
seeing.
Of working.
Sort of working. Yeah, I'm seeing.
It's off by 180 degrees, maybe. Or it's not. It's just not changing at all based on the mouse position.
Wait a minute. Yeah, hang on. Oh, I guess it's got to be the side of the player I'm on. So.
This looks like it's working.
Yeah. What the hell?
It's just that your player's rotation just indicates the direction you're going to drive.
Oh wait.
That's why it's confusing. Oh, it's just not working right now. Yeah, that's interesting.
It's off by something? It's really interesting that it doesn't quite...
For some reason, right around north, it has a hard time, right?
Is that what it is? Is there any... Could get pause be... Huh. Well, let's log out our angles as we shoot and see what we're getting to.
Just want to give a shout out to Surly Dev in the chat.
Yeah.
He says, hello, Jeff. Hello, Dom, in no particular order.
Hello. Do we know Surly Dev?
I believe he might be participating in the awesome coder streams or awesome developer streams GitHub repo that we got added to a little while ago.
We got added to a repo? Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Surly Dev.
Well, that's cool.
If I'm not mistaken, they are from the UK, so it's an interesting hour of the day.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, here I'll blow up my ship just for you.
Shout out, pour one out.
Did I get both? Yes, I finally won.
Did you kill both? You kill both turrets.
This game's got nothing on me. We don't need to change anything else. Okay, so great. let's go back and look at. So when I click up here, I get an orientation of 2.8, and I agree with 2.8 for the direction it's shooting. That's for sure.
What is the maximum value? The angle could be 2 pi.
This is between pi and negative pi, and we want it to be 0 to 2 pi, right?
Or negative pi to pi.
Right now it is negative pi to pi. I got a negative value out here somewhere. Yeah, there we go.
Can we turn the camera shake off the
yeah. Yep. Let's do it. Let's see.
Is it bullet spawn?
I think it's the bullet spawn. Yeah. Let's do that. And I'm gonna turn off the turret shooter too, because nobody asked for this.
Actually, we explicitly asked for it because
we did.
We actually everything is code in this game. We actually made it happen.
Okay, so yeah, so like. It's weird.
I think the whole trigonometry is going to be the devil of us for this entire game development cycle.
This is very interesting. Something is very
We're like
off.
45 degrees off. Is that basically what we're seeing?
Well, for the people on the stream who can't see, I'm clicking and holding the mouse down and just moving it in a circle around the player. You know what? Let's render this thing.
Render the cursor.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to look very, very goofy to people.
We can also render a line between the cursor and the player as well.
You know what?
Yeah.
Debug. Let's put this in debug mode.
Yeah.
We'll have it draw something around the mouse pause and maybe a line between the player and the cursor.
Yeah.
Because everything's better in debug mode. Let's see. So if let's see. So I think just down here outside of the entities loop, we'll do this render primitive. Wow, was this here before?
What?
Sweet renderer thing. I like it.
Yeah, I this is one of the refactors I did because we were adding tools and we needed code sharing between the tools and the game.
I'm digging it. Let's see. Stroke style. So we've got cyan, magenta for our damager boxes.
Yellow, maybe?
Or see, yeah. It's kind of hard to see sometimes, but I think that is correct. Pause is mouse.
We could do bright green too, just like primary colors as well, like 0 F0 or something.
And then dimensions are.
So that unwrap is going to crash as soon as the mouse goes outside of the playfield. So you could do.
Yeah, I was going to do.
One other like. This is the sort of functional programmer in me. Let me just show you this trick, and you can.
Yeah. That's right. You're explaining this, yeah.
Do above this. Do this dot mouse dot get pause, and then dot map, and you pass it a closure that receives the position unwrapped position.
Cool. Yeah, right. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think that one feels like you don't have an if statement, and for some reason, just like all of functional programming is like I don't want conventional imperative statements anymore. Even though we're technically not mapping it into anything, although I'm not sure if that requires a return value. I'm not sure if map forces you to return something.
Well,
it's not complaining, is it?
You wrote this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I think since it's your map, it shouldn't. Is that good?
You know what it is? I think.
Wait, I can see it. The box is way the fuck somewhere else.
Oh, interesting.
So get pause is just not.
Oh, you know what? Get pause. What is it doing? Oh, this. Well, git pause is not in world space. That's the problem. We need to transform it into world space.
Boom. Okay. Um, great.
So you can
Right.
figure. There's a way to do this in the map editor.
Oh, cool. Let's see what we got.
Look for git pause.
Ah.
So that one, V to T does too much because it actually moves it into tile world space, which is scaled down by the factor of 24 or 32 or however big our tile is. So what we want is the thing that happens. We want V to W, whatever that's doing.
Is there a V to W?
It's called in V to T. V to T includes that. So if you just go to the definition of V to T,
Roger that.
yeah, it's gonna involve the camera somehow.
It's you doing it's this one.
Yes.
You get the world position. You just toss it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I kind of want this on the mouse.
This is a conversation between the mouse and the camera.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting how.
Yeah.
Oh god, I shouldn't have changed the size of this window. Sorry, my stream. Let me just put that back.
If anything, it should be on the camera. Maybe you pass you pass a view position into the camera. It returns a world position based on the.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I agree with that. Yeah. And
because the mouse lives in view space.
Yeah, and I kind of thought the camera might have already done that.
It basically the camera's doing all the work because that matrix there is what does all the work. And so if we add a utility function, it's just going to consume that matrix. And then,
yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
cool.
Feel free to add a utility there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I shall. But I just lost my editor that had that. I guess it was right here. Yeah, that makes sense on the camera.
Yeah.
Do you transform and then? Oh man, you put a bunch of comments in here too. I'm enjoying how much free time you've had. I'm jealous.
I thought I was the one with the job.
I know. Maybe I'm just lazy.
I'm not. I didn't go that far. I did not say any of that.
Let's see.
Well, you were looking for a job. That's more than a job.
Yeah, that kind of wiped me out after I did it, to be honest. Let's see. Pause. And then this. Cool.
And that's just a return, I think, rather than assigning the cost.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So
and the return value is a vec2, I believe. It should figure that out, but.
Oh yeah, you like adding return values. I'm super down for that. Whenever TypeScript does it for me, I just kind of like trust it.
Yeah.
So let's see. So this is going to be camera dot to. Do we have a camera here? This dot camera dot. And let's
yeah, we're in the game right now, right? The game has.
Yeah. The game has
every object. Yeah.
Exactly. So now this is tracking, and the thing that is wrong is the get angle function because it's just picking the wrong pause. But that's great. Cool. Cool. And I'm gonna change this to. I think, you know what? I think I'm just gonna render this all the time. Cursor.
So I'm kind of a Twitch chat noob, just because I don't necessarily consume that much Twitch content. But it's funny, I'm just so used to chat being persistent, but I think the Twitch chat is literally just like a WebSocket that broadcasts to everybody. And so I popped out the chat to a different window so I could see the screen share and the chat window at the same time. And there's no history in there whatsoever.
Oh, maybe we don't pay Twitch enough money.
Oh, I could imagine that being a premium feature. That's
yeah. That feels like maybe their shtick. So. Yeah. Okay, cool.
As it turns out, I am an employee of a chat company, and chat is much harder a problem than people give it credit
for. Should we switch to a different chat platform? Maybe Discord.
Uh, we could. We could. That is the choice of the people for sure. Yeah.
All right, great. So all we want is, I do like this get pause thing. If we use the callback here, everything has to be in the callback. That's what I don't like.
It's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's really just a choice of if this particular function, this update function, had more going on than just what we're talking about right now, then having the extra little indent level is good.
Mm-hmm.
But you're using an early out on line 26, and you're basically saying that the only thing that this function cares about is shooting, which is fine because that's true.
Yep. Camera dot view to. Oops. Man.
Surly Dev recommends using an app called Chatty, Chatty.
Oh. Is that the? Is it like a Twitch app essentially?
Yeah. Is that a Surly Dev? Is that a Twitch app? Does it talk to the Twitch API or does it receive the Twitch WebSocket? I don't know if they know, but or it could just be another app that does chat outside of Twitch.
Oh, also cool.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Nice. It's disorienting because the tank no longer turns. I'm used to thinking of the front of the tank as being its. Now this game is easy to win, right? Just hold the cursor over.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a mouse or are you using trackpad?
I'm using the mouse.
Okay.
Which probably helps a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is sick. All right, cool. Let's see. I feel a little dirty having done this. Yeah.
No. I think it's good. Sorry, you finish your idea. I actually was just gonna like opine about the mechanic that we just created, but
no, do that.
Okay. What was I gonna opine about? I was gonna opine about what we just created because I've actually fantasized about making this mechanic for a while, which is well, at least in terms of motion, we haven't quite done it yet because the motion of the tank currently is still like rotate and then move forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've thought a lot about a game that does like WASD motion overhead view, so up, down, left, right, and the diagonals, or a stick, and then use a cursor, a reticle, to orient the firing, like the firing. And it's for the exact mechanic that I was talking about, where you can have absolute precision at distance by just putting the cursor over what you want to shoot at. But it has a counterbalancing thing because now it's harder for you to like change your firing direction because your cursor is so far away from your player, right? So if you get attacked by something close to you, you have maybe a few milliseconds less response time because your cursor is so far away. And if you can make a game where you're trying to incentivize keeping the cursor close to the player, even though you're trying to shoot things that are far away, I think that would be really cool. I've never actually tried it. Yeah, but
no, I like it though.
That's a lot more arcadey than what we were originally going for, but we don't even necessarily know what we're going for right now. But
yeah, you know what? We'll see.
Yeah.
So let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to just make this cursor a little more. And then equals, and then vec2 dot sub vec2 dot create. I'm just gonna center it on the actual mouse pointer and make it a 6x6 little thing.
Okay. So we're drawing the actual cursor on screen now.
Yeah.
For the benefit of.
I took it out of debug mode. I mean, like,
okay.
You know what?
No, there we go. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it hits right through the center of that. That's great.
So we're gonna spend the rest of the stream designing like a little skull and crossbones using our primitive drawing primitives, and use that as the cursor.
Ah, yeah. Very, very into that. This kind of, I have a very big like fix me. This should be renderable.
I mean, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
it should be like an entity.
Yeah,
it should be its own entity. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, we could do that. There is a brewing conversation in my own head about the value of the entity abstraction. Not that I want to refactor what we have so far by any means, but when I was doing tools, right, I was doing the map editor or whatever. How much of like the tools should be represented using entity style constructs? Which is an interesting question. I think that the answer is not much. Where my status quo kind of theory is that entities are useful abstraction. You have a lot of variance between a lot of different simulating objects, right? Like we have simulating walls, and we have the player which is simulating. We have the turrets that are simulating. We're gonna have enemies. We're gonna have all different kinds of things, and it's useful to have like all of those in a big bag that all have a bunch of custom logic that they know how to draw themselves and that sort of thing. But like with an editor, the number of individual objects that are like updating themselves, I think is less. And at that point, maybe it just helps to have everything in one giant update loop. It kind of, yeah. So that's sort of where my head is at right now. But I don't really know, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I ended up with something. Well, the particle editor was a cheat because it wasn't a real entity. It was this thing that was outside of our entity space. So I haven't experienced this pain yet. Which means I should write another tool. Yeah.
I mean, if you go to the editor, right, or you look at the source code rather, it's amazing. You'll see that there is an update loop that like reads the controls and like scrolls the camera around and that sort of thing. But it basically has everything in one file. Whereas if you represented this with entities, it might split this up a little bit more.
Oh, I see. You were thinking about adding like entities that were specific to the map editor itself.
Yeah, like if you hover over the editor, you'll get the little cursor reticle, right? Like, should that be an entity, right?
Yeah.
Or should I just draw the fucking thing, like the way we draw debug stuff right now in the game, right? Yeah.
Yeah, good question. Oh, it's interesting if you leave the canvas and come back, it stops drawing.
Yeah, I think that was intentional. But yeah, you can zoom out if you want to draw beyond that or scroll. Yeah.
Nope, I love it.
There's also a philosophical conversation of whether the level editor should just be the game. Like a lot of people think that you should just be able to level edit while you're playing the game, which is which is kind of cool.
That'd be pretty cool. It'd be nice if like next level shit would be it actually writes to this file when you like click a button, right?
That would be rad. And in fact, need a server, right?
This should be the. Do you need a server to do that?
I don't think that the browser can modify the file system.
Ah, right. This is not running Node.js. This is running in Parcel. Good point.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But we're gonna need a server at some point, right? We're gonna need a server. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so right now I have this janky ass export button on the side there that you can click that, and it basically copies that big JSON blob into the port. So yeah, you can blow it away right now, and then we can get our happy face into the game.
Beautiful. Happy face with how many players?
8 players.
8 players, yeah. I mean, we wanted multiplayer, right?
Oh yes. And the players can kill each other.
Yeah. Last man standing.
Can they kill?
Yeah, I just have to. Can they kill? Oh, they can kill. Yeah. I forgot. Sorry, what?
If you put the cursor between them, do they? Yes.
One still wins. God,
there's got to be a way to get them to kill each other, like simultaneous kill kind of thing. Oh, we've got that thing where they're too close.
No, I can do it.
This is the object of the game. Is like you get a trophy for killing all players. Yeah.
If only.
Yeah.
All right, back to.
Because our hit detection is so awesome.
Our hit detection is incredible. Crud. Okay. No.
You can just check out that file. That might be the. Yeah.
No, we're back.
Okay. Nice.
I forgot as I was playing that the mouse is what controlled the shooting already.
Yeah.
I was like pointing over here. I was like, why isn't shooting over here? I will have you
So
know.
are you enjoying this now? Is it?
The game is beatable now, which is great.
But it's almost too easy now, right?
It's too easy.
Well, you still have to move, right? You still have to shoot and move at the same time.
Yeah, and the AI is pretty smart. The AI could, like, we could make this aim at you faster.
Oh, you're saying that the turret should turn quicker?
Ew, I mean, I'm just saying we can make it harder if we really needed to.
Yeah.
I liked your suggestion of bullet hell. I think that's pretty interesting. I love me a good bullet hell shmup.
Yeah, we could add moving enemies.
Moving enemies would be much harder
to implement and to also play against.
Just all around, yeah.
So once we have moving entities, we have the added challenge of doing pathfinding, which I've actually never done before in a game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that would actually be kind of fun.
Let's see. Is there anything else we wanted to do for the shooter, though? I think we kind of got it. Oh, we wanted to switch the control scheme to. You wanted.
Well, we can at least see how it feels, right?
Yeah. Let's change up the mover.
Okay.
Because I think that's actually pretty easy.
Yes. So one thing that the way that key map is actually designed is it's meant to be. We got another person on the stream.
Hey.
I believe I'm Jordan with an M on the end. Got a wave. Hello, Jordan. Welcome to the stream.
What's
welcome
up,
to
Jordan?
Jeff and Don Make a Game. We're making a game.
Here, I'll go lose the game for Jordan.
Yeah.
I am dead.
I missed the camera shakes. Let's put them back.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. Let's not.
Were there camera shakes when I got hit though? At the very least? No. See that needs a shake.
Is it the player getting hit? Because we put it in the bullet. That was the problem. Is we put it in the bullet, and basically, since the player and the turrets shoot the same bullets, and if the bullet hits anything, it's going to shake the whole screen. And that's not what we wanted. We wanted it just if it was the player getting hit.
Well, I think one thing I think is in the player shooter, because it shakes when I shoot.
Okay. Yes.
Oh boy. Wow, I just had a critical failure. It shakes when I shoot. The damageable could do a shake. It needs the camera. Oh, the game's got the camera. The damageable could do a shake, but then all the walls will shake when they're hit. Which I think. So Bullet was doing it on impact, which was annoying.
Yeah. Either the bullet can say, "Did I hit the player?" and if so, shake, or we should mark the player as getting hit that frame, and then the player shakes the screen into that frame or the following frame. Something
I like if c.dim. Let's see if c. dot. We don't have anything that's the player doesn't have anything that says I am the player, does it? It does not. That's too bad. We gotta add tags to this, man. Everything needs a tag.
Well, the game knows what the player is, right? So
the game knows. Does the game know what the player is? Because the
game has a player pointer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So if c equals game dot player, great.
How do we get the? But c is a component and not the entity, right?
Oh, true. We can. Oh, we have the entity right here. That's yeah. Const equals game dot entities dot. Wait, isn't it entities ID? That should be the entity.
That is the entity. Yes.
Yeah. This needs to be a triple equal.
Why did we call it C?
Because it's the collided.
Oh.
Yeah.
It should be like the victim or the target
Yeah.
or whatever. Anyways, C is as good an English alphabet letter as any, right?
Yeah. So now it should shake only. Yeah, there you go. Now it looks like you're getting hurt. That's great. I'm gonna give the player. The player needs a little more health, frankly. Too easy to die. Okay, so we've got our turn controls, but we're gonna switch to our directional controls.
Yeah.
And let's see. So. So part of it is we're translating not by orientation, but just by up, right?
Yeah.
This is
and then one thing that might help the readabilities a little bit is that the key map, the keys on the key map are meant to be the logical actions and not the representation of the key code.
Oh, great.
The key code is in the comments.
Good point.
So, you know, W would be like straight, like slide up or strafe up or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or move up. Move is a good word too.
Down. Then, well, in that case, let's get really weird about this stuff. Oh, I see. Okay. Then let's keep... that's annoying. I was going to change up to forward and left and right to turn left and turn right. But not right now. So key map has move up. Aha. Well, now when I hold down W, the game pauses, which is really cool.
It pauses.
Time moves when you move. I bet it's logging something horrible about what I'm not doing. Yeah.
Oh, we just need to import vec2. Is that what it is?
Yeah, but Jeff, I love this.
So the console output is literally like.
Yeah, one log per frame of what I'm missing.
Yeah.
We made super hot though, so like that's cool.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
well, we're done. We've just made super hot with tanks.
Yeah, here's an interesting one though. While it's happening, there's more bullets queuing up over here because it's still shooting somehow. Or here, I'm holding it down. When I let go, there's actually gonna be like a line of bullets that follows through.
That is interesting.
Yeah, or like they're not on the right timing. I think since our game isn't meant to throw exceptions this frequently, I'm okay with it.
That is interesting. I would have thought our frame rate independence would have taken care of that, but we've also probably got a bug.
Now we got a different bug.
What's the compiler there? The warning?
Oh, because it's a number. Ah, I see. This is just orientation, which is 0. Yep. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean the radial translate's probably too much work, right? All we just need to do is.
Let's just add, right?
Oh, I see what's going on. Well, it depends. We could use radial translate if we decided we wanted to keep the speed constant, like if we wanted to do the 45-degree angle one as well.
Because we could choose to add.
Yeah, basically, essentially,
if there's two keys down, we would translate like the 45-degree angle.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, okay. So really, we only want to apply this once and sort of get the angle from what's held down.
Yeah, maybe what it would be is like, depending on what buttons are pressed down, you would choose an angle, right? You would choose an orientation, and then you would apply radial translate to that.
Yeah, and what do we say if you hold down all the buttons? I mean, whatever, we can figure that out.
Oh yeah, usually the way that I do that is it's an if-else if. So it's like if it's up, then do the thing. If it's down, else if it's down, then do the other thing. So that way it makes them mutually exclusive, and then one of those takes precedence over the other.
Cool. Okay. I'm trying to win the game with only up and
Yeah,
down.
it's totally mesmerizing. I can.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. No, I wasn't even being sarcastic. It was mesmerizing.
So let's see. I'm gonna. We're gonna start there.
Okay.
Or rather, we'll go undefined because we want to not move if it hasn't actually, if nothing is pressed. If angle. And this gets a lot simpler. Keyboard.down keys.has keymap.move up. And then I say then it's else if. Yeah.
Yeah, and we might have to prioritize the key chords first. So if it's like, if it's got up and left, do this. Else if it's got up and right, do this. Else if it's just got up, that sort of thing, right?
That's what I was going to do. Yeah, I was going to have a triple case in each of these, and then left and right will just be their own at the end. I was just going to get all of them in here, so we won't have the chorded ones yet.
Yeah.
I could copy paste this.
Yeah, we could also set up a table, right? Like the table would be like, the orientation is 0, and then you put in an array. Well, you still have to do prioritization, right?
Mm-hmm. Oops. No, wait. Let's see. Down is math.pi, left is math.pi times 1.5, and this is .pi over 2. Backwards. Curses. Left? Why is my left backwards? Why is my up wrong?
Your left is actually 1/2 because it's counterclockwise from north. Is what we're talking about, right? So your left and right, I think, are reversed.
Okay. Great. All right, that's tank. And yeah, I immediately want chording to work. So, if let's see, so if we've got keymap dot left, else if keymap dot move right.
Nice.
So let's see. So this is angle equals math dot pi over 4.
Yep. And then negative pi over 4, maybe?
Yeah, I think that actually works pretty well. And I'm actually going to make this negative pi over 2.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
that.
Yay.
All right.
So now do we want if we rotate the player, is that going to be where is that going to point at the cursor now? Is that what we're going to do?
That's kind of what I was thinking, yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
No, backwards. Minus and plus. Cool. Yeah, I was...
Ooh, is that shake? What's going on there?
Oh, it still shakes when you shoot.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, we never... Oh man, this just got a little easier too.
It's a lot easier to control now, right?
Yeah, we gotta make this game harder.
Well, we are also only just attacking 2 turrets, right?
True. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so the player shape should rotate with the mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Should there be a shape under the player that's not rotating, like the base of the tank and the turret of the tank?
Uh, we could do that. And then, like, maybe the base of the tank should actually lerp towards the direction that you're actually moving, and that would make it look like that would make it look like a tank in StarCraft, right? What do they call them in StarCraft?
Siege tanks.
Battle tanks? Siege tanks.
Siege tanks.
Yeah, siege tanks. Yes.
You gotta deploy siege mode.
Yeah. Oh man. I loved StarCraft.
StarCraft was so good.
I was no good at it, but I loved it.
Same. If you ever want to play a really bad game of StarCraft together, I'm down.
Oh, I'd love to.
StarCraft 1 or 2, either, really.
I never played StarCraft 2.
Let's play StarCraft 2. It's what you remember StarCraft 1 to be, but, like, better.
Will it run on a 2017 MacBook Pro 13-inch?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
If not, I'll play StarCraft 1.
And play it on a VM on my Nintendo Switch, right?
Oh my god. They did remaster that recently though with like they did StarCraft 1 with HD 4K everything.
Oh really?
Yes.
And how is it different mechanically than StarCraft 2?
Oh,
StarCraft 2.
StarCraft 1 and 2, the races are still the same, but a lot of the units got changed up. I don't really remember the difference. I haven't played either in a while, so
I felt like StarCraft 1 was perfect, right? Like it was
pretty
like
perfect.
The rare example of like a perfectly tuned game.
I liked StarCraft 1 had a lot of could you sync supply depots for Terrans in StarCraft 1? Did they go up and down?
They could fly.
The buildings could fly, but the supply depots are in StarCraft 2 are like they're like syncable walls, which is really cool. They made the game like it has some fun stuff in it.
Okay,
but
so I should play StarCraft 2 was what you're saying.
I'll take you in either and lose, or it'll be a very fair fight.
So the way that I like playing those games is like accumulating overwhelming force.
Oh yeah.
And then just going in and like mopping the floor with the enemy base.
I have two tactics, which is drop something in your mineral line and just ruin the game for you, or play Protoss and just put cannons into your base as fast as I can.
Your base or their base?
Your base.
Oh, the enemy base.
Yeah, the enemy base.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I love all the like hilarious unconventional stuff, right? So when I played Terrans, I think that was my thing of choice because I just didn't bother learning either of the other races. And at a certain point, I just wanted to create like hundreds of Marines, right? Yes. Hundreds of Marines with stim packs and upgraded rifles, and that was literally it. And if I was like being like a tiny bit tactical about it, I'd also add a couple medics in there just for fun, you know. But
you know, I might install StarCraft after this stream. I really want to play it now.
But then like I also liked having like 20 tanks and then just having them in siege mode. And that's like the fastest way to destroy a base.
You just like walk them forward like inch by inch. Yeah.
The reason why the tanks are relevant to this entire conversation, besides StarCraft just being awesome, is that
our tank needs to lerp.
Yes, we want to be able to change direction on a dime like this, just because it feels good control-wise. But we have it doesn't make any sense from the perspective of an actual vehicle, right? A vehicle can't. Well, I don't know. Imagine this is a futuristic tank, which it of course is, and its means of locomotion is a BB-8 style sphere on the bottom, you know, something like that, or multiple spheres. Right?
That'd be pretty cool.
I have just retconned our whole game, right? Our whole plot line.
The more responsive the controls are too, the more I just want to slow it down, because like then you really get this like you get precision and also like your skill becomes part of it.
Yeah.
But I like dodging between the bullets is like so good. See, I already won.
Do you wanna design a level that has more turrets that makes this harder?
Maybe. Wait, I want to make this rotate first though. How?
Okay. Yes.
So
Should it be a mover or a shooter?
Well, each. How did the mover... Wait, I'm going to turn turret shooting off again. Goodbye, turrets.
And should we even be modifying the orientation of the transform? I guess we should, just because that's what the renderable uses, but
Right.
it's technically a different entity, right? Like if we were kind of like, we could model this so many different ways, but we're going to get to a point where we actually have two different renderables with two different orientations, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe that's the biggest change. Can we have two renderables? Can we have an array of renderables for this sucker?
Uh, yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I think we'd want to think about how we model this
Mm-hmm.
differently. Um, and you know,
Oh, I see.
it could be that just like the players, like the base of the players is just a different entity that syncs its position to the player.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Maybe that's what it is then. Maybe, especially as we think of the cursor as its own entity, maybe the shooter. Yeah, gosh, maybe the shooter is attached to the player itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because then we can render the cursor pointer and whatever turrety thing is on top of it in that entity, and its position is always just stuck on the player. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you'd have to make sure that the player is always updated before the shooter one, right? Because like the shooter one needs to be like fully dependent on.
Otherwise, it might like lag. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you don't want to like move the body of the tank but not move the turret.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and do we have? Let's see. Okay, so we actually desktop player dot. Wait. Oh, because it's an optional. Gosh, wild. Okay. I'm getting your optional style. It's cool.
Oh, it's also kind of me just fucking around. Like in other languages, I just do if is none or if is unwrapped.
But so let's see. So our entities manager, it just updates in order. So really, we would want to update the player and the player shooter like last. Is maybe a concept that could be useful. Have we thought about having sort of sub-entities? Like, could the player have this shooter as an entity below it? And then when you call update on the player does its own update, and then like updates its children. So that's like how you could have dependent motion.
Yeah, that is a way to do it. Although I think the thing
We're
to
kind
think
of far
about
away
there
from
is
it.
how do the components of that sub-entity relate to other entities' components? Does the sub-entities components update later?
I see. Right, because are they in?
Well, actually, to be honest, the model that we have right now is that the components are all completely tenanted inside of the entities. So your sub-entity idea makes total sense based on this model. Now, if we store the components as like top-level lists, like you have just a bunch of lists of transform components, and they're all just like kind of like indexed by the entity ID. At that point, the idea of a sub-entity becomes a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, I guess maybe it could be. Yeah, we just update everything, but maybe we only call this on entities that we have recorded that don't have a parent.
Yeah, either that, or maybe we're overthinking this. And what it should just be is that you see line 11. Line 31. The font's really small. Maybe the entity get renderable should be get renderables, and we should just return an array of stuff. Like, there's no reason why an entity shouldn't be able to return multiple things that you could draw. And then how we actually implement that, we can do whatever the hell.
Okay. I think that'll make sense.
Okay.
And we do have enough, like, then we'll be able to draw the cursor, the turret, and the base sort of as we want. That sounds good to me.
Okay.
So let's see. This. All right. Well, if I change that, the entire thing should be broken.
Yeah, well, we can rename the symbol. Is that,
Oh,
can we do symbol rename?
Thank you. Gosh, I forget that VS Code does that correctly. Ah, that's awesome.
But we do have to change the return type to
Mhm.
an array of renderables, right?
Yeah.
Which will break everything, sadly.
Will it?
Yeah, because they're returning one thing right now, and you want it to return multiple things. And we can't push anymore. We need to concat,
We could
or we iterate
push.
push.
We could push that.
Oh, shit.
I know that solves that problem.
JavaScript.
This is just my favorite operator in the world, and I
Yeah,
wish
it's good.
everything. So basically every time anywhere we do this, we're just gonna do that.
Correct.
And that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that was less effort than I thought.
Surely that can't be the only renderable. Wait, hang on. Ah, okay.
It is.
Why is that? Is it because the other primitives actually aren't renderables? They're just
So the path renderable that we're looking at right now is the component that returns primitives. It is not itself a primitive.
Ah, great.
So I actually think path renderable is like maybe it's the path renderable component. It is like the component interface for path primitives. So
Right.
I don't know how we want to.
Well, I mean, it seems like essentially we want to give the player its own renderable here.
Renderable. That's
Yeah.
not this one. Correct.
Yeah, and we'll just we'll start here, but yeah. That seems fine.
Yeah.
And then this is player renderables, entities, player. Cool. That seems super simple. And now we got our thing. If I do this, and then some of this stuff, like what is model? Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, because the player takes a.
Yeah, I basically abstracted away the path that describes the player model because I wanted to be able to draw that in the editor as well.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
this is a bit rigid. This is ripe for all kinds of refactoring. I just wanted to have a path that I could draw.
Mm-hmm. But wait, does that mean we don't call make player? Oh gosh. Okay, so this is type definitions dot type player dot make. I see. Oh. Cool. This is different.
Yeah, it's sort of this factory model kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
We used to have a switch, and we just made it into a table.
Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, so back to make player then. So this model, it's interesting because is it models now? Or are we gonna? I'm gonna break everything about this at this point. And
it depends. The only reason why that model sits there is that it's really just like, what do you want the editor to render? Maybe that's probably what it should actually be. Is like, when you place the player in the editor, what do you want to draw?
Yeah, and I'm okay if that's the shape for this, and then our player renderables.
It's more complicated. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
does its own thing, and that seems. Yeah, it seems like a good compromise. Cool. And yeah, perhaps I'll just copy. I'll start with this path.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this dot turret path equals that. Turret path.
I'm pretty close to just getting rid of the path2 object. I don't think it actually does anything.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's just an array of vec2s. But don't worry about that now.
Yeah. And And set fill style, I don't think we use. But player renderables needs it, doesn't it? I'm just going to say unimplemented. Okay, cool. That looks good. This has a funny warning. There we go. Okay, so we've got our turret path. And let's see. So it's interesting. This has a transform. And actually, how do we have access to the game here? Because that's what we want.
It depends. Like, probably, well, we want basically two different orientations, right? Mm-hmm. We want one orientation, which is the orientation of the tank, mm-hmm. and we want one orientation, which is the orientation of the turret. So, yeah. Where do you want to represent those? And I don't think the renderable itself should store any real meaningful state. I think the renderable should just like know where to look to like
right.
pull stuff out.
Well, that's kind of, I think all the state we need is in the game right now. But since renderable never gets update called on it, we never have access to the game object to even grab what the new state is. Well, yeah. What do you suggest?
What was? I'm still trying to figure it out because, like, I think. Yeah. Well, what would we actually need in the renderable? Like, because we're rendering two things. Is that what you're saying? We're rendering the where we're shooting or where we're supposed to be pointing.
Yeah, we could. I mean, so yeah. So the shooter could have a pause stored on it. We have access to that here. We've got the transform, and we've got the mover. So maybe shooter and mover is the thing that should actually have some orientation we can access to pass into this. And actually, should mover be updating the transform still? Maybe it should actually. Mover stopped doing that just now, I think.
Yeah. So the entity has a transform on it, right?
Yeah, and previously our left and right was doing that for us.
And the transform, the orientation on the transform really is about the orientation of how you render it. So, boy, this is starting to feel more like a two-entity thing than
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess, maybe the way to think about it too, our transform, eventually I would expect this box to rotate with the tank body transform. So that maybe that's like, I think having the mover direction update the transform for the object makes sense to me. And then
what if we had two entities then, right? Like, what if we had the tank body, which is one entity, and the player body and the player turret? Is that too confusing to splay the logic across two different classes?
I don't think so. It's just we have that update order prop again where we don't really know how to update the turret in the correct way we want to, unless we do sub entities or maybe like pull the player out to
like a prioritization system or something.
Yeah, we could pull the player out to like the very first update and assume everything follows from that.
Right now, entity, we could just take advantage of the fact that like we know that it's going to iterate over entities in order of their creation, and we could just make sure that the make player function
actually creates the entity.
Actually creates the entities in the right order. So it creates the mover first and then the turret second. Something like that.
Whew. Yeah? Okay. Depending on order scares me, but that does seem doable.
Yeah. The other thing we do is we have a priority system, and then we basically have priority queues or something like that.
Yeah.
Not priority queues, but like a queue of like priority one things, a queue of priority two things.
Is the absolute like naivest thing to do to update the player and then everything else? Is that like, how does that feel in terms of ordering? Like we just do the player. And
That's fine.
Yeah.
But we're saying that the player is now multiple entities, right? Well, that's one solution that we're suggesting here.
I'm saying maybe like the player mover.
Oh, I see. And then everything else just kind of
yeah. What moves is our root entity, and then like we could have 10 entities after it that don't matter as long as the player update is happening first.
Yeah. So here's the problem: is like now if we have two different entities, it makes sense. But then if like one of them dies, we have to make sure that the other one dies as well.
Yeah.
It gets shitty. You know, like it helps to have one brain. And so I think what we're fighting against right now is the component system, right? The component system is killing us right now because even if the mover has like an orientation and the shooter has an orientation, it's not clear how the other components are supposed to deal with those different values. It's like custom to each entity.
Right.
And
I gotta say, I'm still kind of feeling subcomponents or sub entities. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. So
yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is you will create an entity inside of this that's not exposed at the game level.
Yeah. The downside is other objects won't be able to access it, but I'm kind of okay if you can't get at the player shooter. Like I feel like maybe it's the player entity's job to expose something.
So how does the sub entity get access to the parent entity? Do we just pass it into a special update function that doesn't respect the?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see.
Okay, well if that's the case, we don't necessarily even need a sub entity. We just need a sub thing that we update, right? And we just have to know where that thing gets updated, and then we have to know how to pull state out of it so that the renderable can grab that state, right? And that's the tricky thing.
I was thinking it needs to have its own renderable specifically. Like we need a second renderable that maybe has access to its own transform as well.
But so how does the parent renderable get access to that?
The parent renderable, right? Maybe.
So I'm not arguing against. I'm just saying let's come up with a system. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. So get renderables. I guess it's get renderables. Maybe in fact it's e.getRenderables, and this is getRenderables, and then it's this dot renderable dot getRenderables. Sorry, be this, and then this. Come on. This dot children dot map. C.getRenderables.
Oh, I see. So the entity has.
Yeah. So now this entity can have as many sub-renderables as it wants, and then the update is this dot children dot map C.update. So now we've got sub-entities. If I had children. And then maybe it's
yeah.
Add child, and then like this sets parent and adds two children.
And so in principle, can children have children?
Could.
Are children just other entities?
I was thinking they're just entities, yeah. So could be a nightmare stack of children and children and children.
Yeah.
It's up to us to not make that terrible. It doesn't feel like too much. Doesn't feel like too much of a foot gun to me.
Yeah. So then then you don't need get renderables at the entity level. It's just up to like the parent. It's up to the parent entity's renderable whether it looks into the children or not. Because what you're saying is that there will be there's a children pointer in the entity interface. That's basically the big innovation here, right?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, because actually, right, the path renderable has access to the entity, so it'd be entity dot children. Right, so the player renderable could choose to do that all on its own. Yeah.
Who updates the children? Who's responsible for doing that?
I think it's right here in update. I think it's line 44.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And then we actually know that we can guarantee we've already moved. We can guarantee the parent has moved. Then we do our child updates. So if the player has like 10,
yeah.
If
and
the
then
player has 10 entities, yeah. If it's,
do the children always update after the parent?
Yeah, they would in this case at least, effectively, except for pre-render.
Well, this children loop is going to call c.update, and it's going to call the pre-render for all the children before the parents pre-render, right?
Yeah, should it be after? It could be after.
Well, that's tricky because it's going to call the same update function as you're in right now, right? Like, because we're saying that the children are the same type of thing as the parent, right?
Right. So maybe it is this then.
Yeah, but the pre-render logically should be after everything, right? Like the pre-render might be something where the parent needs to look at the children to know what to render, and if the children haven't updated yet,
I think this sort of logically makes sense to me, even though like we're actually saying every child should be completely done, and then we do the player pre-render. So like the children can run their pre-render. It's not. I don't think it introduces a contradiction there, at least.
The other thing that we could do is at the entity manager level, the update of the entity becomes entity.transform update, entity.children.forEach update their transform.
I was thinking that's a possibility, yeah.
Where we basically stripe the updates.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that becomes an argument for just putting all the components into a giant bucket at the top of the game, and then just updating them all in order, right? You know what? Let's not kill ourselves over this. Let's do the simplest thing, and we'll figure out the refactoring, right?
Yeah. That sounds good to me. Let's see. Renderables are still multiple. We can undo that.
So if we
later.
wanted to cheat, when we create the path renderable for the player, we can pass in a pointer to whatever state it needs to access at any time, so that when it does its render, it can use that pointer that we gave it to do whatever the hell it wants to do, right? That might be the fastest straight line to that.
Okay, so it's going back to giving the renderable state.
Yes, give the renderable state, and then also give the player entity some state that's not on the generic entity interface, right?
Okay. Yeah. And really, is it anything? Hang on, yeah. Well, I guess we could do that. I was thinking we could. We can make this work with this function as is, if we store the state on the shooter of what direction is the shooter pointing. That's the only piece of state that's missing right now.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And that's a generic component.
And the shooter is the player shooter?
This is the player shooter, yeah. Yeah, this is speak to the player.
So basically, it's a generic component, but the renderable can know that it's actually a player shooter, right? And it can read this state off of it, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So we pass the shooter component into the renderable. Is that what we're saying?
We don't even need to, because getRenderables has access to the entity, so we can do entity.shooter.
Well,
and cast it as a player shooter. because we're in the player renderable too. Like we're in player space.
Yeah,
right?
I would rather pass the pointer to the shooter component as a shooter than do the downcast. I mean, well, they're both kind of gnarly.
It's kind of the same thing, but I'm into that. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So let's see. Shooter is a generic component.
I agree. It's kind of sort of the same because we're doing a lot of like assert that the transform exists kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like one step further, saying not only do I assume that the shooter component exists, but I also assert that it's of this type.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So let's see. This will actually be this dot orientation, and then we'll get those. Cool, and then okay, so then this will take our so let's see, we don't want e.shooter, we want
one of the reasons why we're pulling our hair out is that we're actually getting ready to render two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the case?
Yeah.
But we could set the orientation of the transform to just wherever the mouse is pointing right now, and that would at least give us the effect that we're looking for.
I think what I was doing was I was going to have the mover continue to set the entity transform.
I see what you're saying. The mover will set the orientation based on the direction that you're pointing.
Yeah, and this will be the tank body, and I think this is important for maintaining the hitbox when the hitbox rotates.
Okay.
Yeah. And we can do some lerping and stuff in there too. And then the shooter is just going to have its own orientation, and this is what we point the mouse cursor at. Yeah. I remember how we got here. But this is okay, because we'll have the mouse pause as well. We get orientation and pause. Okay. Orientation and position. So this is what it is that the shooter has a transform.
Why does it need a position again?
Because we want to render this dot as part of the shooter. Because right now the game just renders this like bespoke.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, like this is part of the player shooter, not necessarily. It's not the cursor. It's not like at the game level.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
I guess it could be. Maybe I'll start without this.
Okay.
Because we know this will work as is.
Yeah. We're kind of like getting into the sort of neurosis of like where do you put logic, right? It could be that the crosshair is UI and it's part of the HUD,
right? Yeah, that's
or
fair.
It could be that it's part of the player, and
we'll sort it out. But I think actually since it's already there, I'm fine just leaving it. An argument for shooter was not provided. Oh, I put that on the wrong constructor. Should go in the player renderable. And then that's good. Great. Because shooter is now a shooter object, so we know what it is. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And you need to import that.
I think I imported the wrong one.
Can't trust this anymore.
Yeah.
Even index? Oh no, the index doesn't do that, yeah. Okay, great. So we have our turret path and we have our body path. And this is
it's the full tile, right?
It's actually it's the tile, the short tile.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're going to make a narrow rectangle for the...
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to color it differently.
Yeah.
Do we need Z ordering? We might, right?
Gosh. Okay, now I'm going to say we trust the order that things come in. But yeah,
I think that's actually fair.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're super correct. Body path 2, and then this is going to be this dot body path.
Yeah.
Cool. It's actually pretty fun to work with these.
Yeah.
And then I'll make this gray, and this will be turret path. There you go.
Nice.
And then we can, yeah, I'm gonna make it even a little narrower. Sure. Okay. And then, so let's see, this is not this transform. Ugh. So transform has its own model.
Yeah, we can just copy those 3 lines, right?
That's nothing, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because, yep, that's totally fine.
We're gonna take the position from the entity and then the orientation from the shooter. Yep.
Yep. Turret transform equals. Let's get all this. And this is e.transform.position and
shooter.orientation.
You want to be a const. So then this becomes turret transform.
It's gonna be so rad.
I'm very excited for this to happen. It's so close. Oh, yeah, this dot shooter. This dot shooter?
Yeah, let's. Can it be undefined?
Oh, no, I just didn't.
Oh. Nice.
It cannot. This dot.
Oh, nice.
Neat. Okay, so why? Let's see. It's not updating. It kind of needs
to rotate around the back of the tank. That's where the control point needs to be, which is a little tricky.
It needs to rotate around the back of the tank?
Because the control point is currently the very center of the tile. We could fix that by just changing the path, though. The path can be maybe front-loaded a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see. Wait, I want to do. There's something else I want to do. This actually gets moved out here because we update our orientation no matter where them. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So interesting. When I hold it down, it like still stutters. It's because of the cooldown. So we're always, update is always setting its own orientation. Oh, yeah, that looks great. Okay.
Oh, dude. This is really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and, cool. I think eventually, we should do, animations and stuff, right? We're going to want a little thing that pops backwards every time we shoot. How cool would that be?
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, the last thing to do to get this complete is that we want our orientation. Let's see how we've got our alert function.
What if we just hard aligned it to the orientation now?
I was kind of just thinking that, yeah.
So it is just this dot orientation, right? The angle is all just
it's
dot
literally
transform
yeah. That's great. Boop.
What happens if you stop moving? Is it always going to point up?
Nope. It points wherever you were. It's hard to.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to get it to stick on a diagonal just because one key goes up first.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But it's pretty close.
Cool.
That's sick. Yeah, I like that. Cool. Okay, great. Yeah. All right. Good. Thanks for making me not lerp because it's 5 o'clock. But it works.
It's gonna be.
I like this little thing. That's so rad. I'm gonna make the. Harry, I'm just gonna tweak this a little bit while I'm in here.
Yeah, there's a lot about the way this is factored right now that's a little bit tricky. Because. Yeah, I have the feeling that we're not using the component system the right way, but it's not that I'm saying that. It might be that the component system is over engineering, and that every entity should just be one giant blob of code. But I don't know. We still get we get benefits with code sharing out of it. So I think we just need to figure out.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it, to be honest. But maybe let's do a powwow. I don't know. You got any time tomorrow or Tuesday to have a little design
Yeah, we could totally do that. Yeah.
Damn, look how great this looks, though. Red.
Yeah. It's red because it's gonna kill you.
Yeah, it shoots red things.
It's like a black widow, right? This is
The tank kind of looks like a Black Widow now, actually.
yeah.
That's sick.
This is the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Ah! Oh, wait, here. I like tweaking the renderables just a little bit, because now we'll have a little directionality to the tank itself, I think. Oh, no, not that. It's this. Yeah. And you can tell which way the tank's facing.
Oh wow, yeah, nice. So I think one other way that we could do this is we would make the renderable for each entity like a complex object, like it's a blob.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can also parameterize that per frame. And we could just, and like the model object is maybe functional, so it knows how to consume the parameters and like adjust its internals. And that way we could have like multiple things that like could parameterize it. And then like getting that set of parameters comes from all the other components, right? That's a way to maybe redeem the model that we currently have, is that like we have like a renderable parameters component that all the other components can write into, and it's just key value. It's no longer restricted to a specific interface, right? Something like that.
That could be cool. Yeah, I always worry. I mean, we lose our TypeScript ability checking there for. Like, it's hard to tell if something's missing or if something passes the wrong data in there.
Yeah, it's basically because like every model would have a different set of parameters that it wants, right? It wants a thing called turret angle that is a number. It wants a thing that's called like firing timer, which is another number. You know, like each model would want some other different set of parameters. But basically, we'd be complicating the renderable in each entity so that you could pass in like an arbitrary set of things.
Yeah. What if no, this wouldn't work. I was trying to think of what if renderables were the only thing that had children, but it's not actually enough information.
Yeah, and then the typing thing, you raise a really good point, but it's sort of like I ran into this a lot with terrain drawing, because terrain drawing is a similar or maybe simpler version of the problem that we're talking about, because with terrain, do you want like a statically typed enumeration of every single terrain tile, or do you want to define those arbitrarily and let that just be game data, right?
That makes, because then you can actually like bring in more interesting things more easily.
Exactly.
So, okay, I think I agree with that.
And then like if we do like animations that involve like a complex list of rendering, like the rectangle with the red triangle on top of it, we might have a bunch of those different things.
Yep.
And do you want to codify each one of those as a specific type that the entity is aware of, or do you just want it to be this piece of data that you parameterize using other pieces of data, right?
Yeah. Okay. I can buy that. And maybe the way we can sort of experiment with this too is like I would actually like these yellow circles or these yellow triangles to be bunker-shaped circles with like a turret on top that's following you as well. So maybe we can do the same thing as an exercise for sort of refactoring and figuring out what feels right.
Yeah.
Because this is clearly not the only time we're going to do this. So okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hell yeah, this looks great. This was a really fun control scheme refactor. I'm excited for you to play with this.
I'm looking forward to actually playing it. It looks really rad.
It feels really cool. I think
when it lerps, it's gonna be like super cool.
Yeah, I want to look at that real quick. Can we do that very quickly?
Well, we'd want a target orientation.
We have a target orientation. It's the angle.
Yeah, we'd need another variable that's like where we want it to turn. And the orientation is where it currently is oriented to. And then the mover would interpolate, right?
Yeah, isn't...
So the mover would need to know about the shooter as well, right?
Is alpha... No. Alpha's the DT, right?
Oh, I see. We can put this on the shooter. That's what...
the
mover.
Yeah, this can go right here. Yeah. But I'm gonna lerp.
All right, we're gonna do it.
lerp, and then it's
So this not orientation. It's what we're currently at.
Yep. Okay. Orientation, angle, and then dt. Right.
Well, and then we need a speed. We need to multiply dt by like a rotational speed.
Okay.
We also have to do the thing where if you're basically close enough to it, you should snap to it. Do you remember how the turrets needed to do that? Because the turrets do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, let me just grab that out of the turret. Yeah. We're just.
I love this. You got a fire in you. We have to have lerping.
I'm thinking about the GIF, and I want the GIF to be. Oh, it needs a speed, but otherwise, this is really cool.
Yeah.
How did the turret mover do it? There we go. That sucker. Diff is. Okay, we get the difference between our current and our and then let's make a player speed. We have a player speed. I'm gonna try that. Fuck yeah. It's really cool, except for the occasional
360-degree thing. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And honestly, the speed could be faster. Yeah, okay. And then, you wanted the... Well, honestly... Do we need that? Is it just that it might vibrate at some point?
It's going to vibrate. It's also because we're... maybe the...
Well, we have more work to do here, so I'm just going to leave this and put a fix me.
Yeah, but it looks cool. We're gonna have like maybe on quadrants 2 and 3, it's not doing the right thing.
Well, this is then, so when I go from left to down is when you get the left to down is the wrong direction rotation.
Yeah, which makes sense because the lerping goes from negative to positive, and you want to go from less negative to more negative sometimes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I forgot how we did that. I'm not sure we fixed that actually.
In the turrets, we fixed it because
it's all of this stuff.
Yeah, we're multiplying by the sign there. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And I don't know if we're not even lerping on the turret. The turret just has a target that it's trying to achieve.
Yeah. And it can move a certain speed every time it tries to aim at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe this is better then. But let's start with lerp.
We have enough. I'm willing to stay on if you want to do it.
No, I'm going to the drive-in tonight. I want to start packing up.
Okay. Drive-in? Like a drive-in movie theater?
There's a drive-in movie in Concord, California, 30 minutes from us.
Tell me about this.
Tonight they're doing a double feature, Indiana Jones and the Temple, or Indiana Jones and what is it? The first one. What's the first one called?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then Last Crusade double feature.
Oh, and they skipped Temple because that's the problematic one.
And you know what? Between those two, it definitely those two form a match. Temple is weird. Temple's kind of my favorite one. I'm an asshole.
No, they're all problematic, right? They're all super problematic.
I love Temple of Doom, man. Oh, it's so good.
Chilled monkey brains. Right?
That's one of my first memories of that movie. I was like a kid. It was so weird and fucked up.
The bug scene is traumatizing. It's got Short Round.
Is Short Round only in that movie? I really liked him. He was great.
Short Round is great.
Well, that's the movie where Indy has a kid sidekick. Maybe that's why I liked it at age 8.
Yeah, Short Round was also Data in the Goonies, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like pioneering Asian American actor. We had a couple of hits in the 80s, right? We had.
Now, was Data from Star Trek named after Data from the Goonies?
I doubt it.
I choose to believe yes. It's just such a strange name, but yeah, I think you're right.
Or was he in? He was also in. Or was he Data in Encino Man? Because I feel like he was in Encino Man too.
I don't know. Yes. I don't think I ever saw Encino Man.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to go to our GitHub. Oh,
there was a doubleheader I saw at the Castro, and it was Bloodsport and Big Trouble in Little China, and it was fucking fantastic.
Ooh.
Those are two awesome movies.
Oh my god, when was our last session? 13. That's
Sorry,
a good.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
A lot of these commits are like me adding one thing to the TS config.
Twin stick bullet hell.
Nice.
Cool. You should feel free to come to the drive-in tonight. We'll be locked in a car, and you could be locked in a car too.
Concord.
In Concord.
No,
yeah.
I'm gonna get pizza. I've been thinking about pizza all weekend. And
we might get pizza too, and take it to the drive-in.
Zach's?
Possibly.
That's pretty intense to eat in a car, right?
I know. Well, I'm actually a fan. You know what? Controversial opinion. I'm a fan of their thin pizzas.
Okay, I'm getting thin.
Have you tried their white pizza, the Blanca or whatever it is?
Oh wow, so you're going all out here. You're like Alfredo sauce on a thin crust from a Chicago style joint.
I know it's sacrilege, but it's like Alfredo sauce, fresh ricotta, and garlic, and it's like one of the most delicious pizzas I've ever had. Unlike the cornmeal crust, they still do a cornmeal crust.
Yes. I'm gonna go to Joya. Do you know Joya Pizzeria?
No, what's that?
Do you know Monterey Market in North Berkeley? Have you been?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, it's because you'll never drive by this place because it's not on a main thoroughfare.
Ah.
But it's a great organic grocery store with lots of fantastic. It's like the best produce in the Bay Area. Maybe like a quarter of a notch above Berkeley Bowl. So don't go out of your way. It's just
Okay.
Because it's kind of like a lot of it's very crowded. A lot of like sharp-elbowed Berkeley old ladies, that go. To sort of like paint an unpleasant stereotypical picture, but Joya is.
Oh, this looks good.
Shit, it is a phenomenal New York style slice.
Oh shit. Okay, I haven't had a real New York style slice in a while. Dang.
I would actually recommend getting the slices to eat on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're allowing people to order that way right now, but
I wonder. Yeah.
Just buy a pie and then eat it on the sidewalk. Oh god, I'm hungry now. I had a burrito for lunch too.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Oh man, and they have a cannoli too, which is like my critical measure of good Italian food. So
yeah, the mushroom pie there is really good. We might go margarita tonight though.
I'm very tempted. Okay, shit. Well, this might affect my plans for the evening. You should go now because they're closing soon though.
7 p.m. What the fuck? Okay, yes, I will order right after the stream ends.
All right. Speaking of, goodbye Twitch. Thank you for twin
Thank you,
sticking
Surly
with us.
Dev, for hopping in.
Yeah, and Jordan.
Jordan, yes. There's actually a few different people in the chat list here.
Are people watching us right now?
Look, apologies to people on stream if you are actually humans, but I think there's some automation going on here. Yes.
Well, go get some pizza. This place looks great.
Shout out to Joya Pizzeria.
Yeah. This stream brought to you by Joya Pizzeria.
Well, technically, yes. The stream, if I took away the Joya pizzas that I've eaten in the past, I probably would be dead. So you're right that the stream was
there you go.
Essentially funded by that pizza. Yes.
Darn that pesky food addiction.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Goodbye, Twitch and robots watching.
All right. See ya, everybody.